Hello and welcome to AntipoDnD, a show in which a bunch of Australians play Dungeons and Dragons in a setting partly inspired by prehistoric Australia and New Zealand. I'm David. I am joined by Kynwyn, April, Doug and Zindy, who are my players. And wow, I got it all right this time. This is what being full of pseudoephedrine does to you. Not recommended.
Better try that sometime.
So, last session, first of all, no, we'll get to that in a moment. Last session, our heroes were woken in the middle of the night by something, a strange sense of unease, which quickly turned to alarm as the city of Providence came under attack by the Titan of Engadon, a massive undead dragon-like creature that Engadon herself has referred to as the Amalgam. Our heroes were informed by Izud, Wizard of the Academy, that since it quickly became clear that the city's defences were doing squat, it seemed to fall down to the wizards to try and deal with this creature, so they were going to lure it to the Coruscant Academy, and they invited our heroes to join them there. Our heroes ran as quick as they could.
Still putting our pants on.
And arrived at the Coruscant Academy to find that the battle had already been underway. Several wizards had fallen, including a number of students at the Academy who had bravely rushed out to aid their teachers, much to the alarm and distress of their teachers. And a fight ensued. Much damage was done to all. More fell. But eventually the Amalgam was driven away from the city as it was rammed by a small flying airship, a bomber that the city had recently acquired from the Tarthian invaders who had failed to occupy the city some 6 months ago.
Just killed that helicopter with a car?
So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to retcon one thing, and that is I said that clerics then arrived from the Temple of Desmina, and I've realised that it actually would have taken them too long to arrive to revivify anyone. So
you're going to kill some of the...
I'm going to retcon 3 of the revivify. So 2 students who are revivified are actually still dead, and Ledge the Diviner is still dead. And after this, a emergency conference was called after as much as done as possible to help the survivors. And we sort of rushed through the details of the conference, but we're going to now go back and just flesh that out a bit more in detail. So the conference will begin. It's got the council members. It has Izud, a few other individuals have been invited. It's got the 4 of you, and first of all, the casualty list is read out. Turns out that there were civilians in other parts of the city who also died, as well as a few soldiers on the walls. So even though the total was only about 20 or so people, that's still
Pretty whole people.
considered unacceptable by all and sundry, especially since there is absolutely no way of stopping it from happening again. And so the argument becomes we have to destroy the Amalgam, preferably as quickly as possible to finish it off before it heals from the damage it sustained in that night's fight. And at this point, one of the council members says, "This creature, do we even know that it can heal?"
That thing was nasty enough that if it couldn't, I would be very surprised.
I mean, hasn't it been attacked by the crystal before? It keeps coming back.
And they acknowledge it. It's a good point. But it seemed... Did it seem... It did not seem a natural creature from what I'm hearing.
It weren't natural.
No, not at all.
It weren't natural, but it was sucking up bodies. Did you not see that?
Yeah,
yeah.
I saw it.
like it
I
was
saw it.
taking on-
It was,
Hands, yeah.
it was sucking them up.
And
I mean, there's only one reason why something like that would slurp up dead things, I reckon.
And
yeah, I don't think it has a stomach.
Probably has a lot.
Izad says,
Human stomachs.
we have to assume that it finds some way of integrating those corpses into its body. And
Amalgamating them, you would say.
that would explain the name that you said Engadon ascribed to it. So, we have to assume this thing has a lair, has gone somewhere to retreat and tend to its injuries. And the question of where that lair might be, and he indicates into the shadows where someone you've not seen before steps forward. It is a...
This is Grimer fucking Wormtongue.
It is a human, but less Grimer Wormtongue, more Nathan Drake. He's got that kind of roguish adventurer look about him.
Has he got a kind of player character feel as well?
If it were
How protaggy is he?
if it were a solo game, he would be a protagonist.
Right,
Especially if it
right.
was a video game. There was a time when every video game protagonist looked like this guy.
Yeah, okay, I follow.
So he's white, brown hair, kind of yay tall,
Yep.
wearing some sort of extra pouches on his...
Yep. Stubble.
And he's unbuttoned to here.
Yeah.
Harrison Ford shirt syndrome.
Yep. And Izad says, this is a friend of mine. His name is Bryn Shedrin. And he says, Bryn, why don't you introduce yourself? And Bryn says, oh, hi, I wasn't really expecting such esteemed company. Put it simply, my name is Bryn. I am what we call a dragon watcher. Don't get too excited. We're not an ancient order of, dragon-blooded people or something like that. We're just people who really like dragons, like bird watchers, but for dragons.
That was actually what I assumed, to be honest.
Yeah,
Exactly what I thought. Good.
High stakes.
Okay.
High stakes twitches.
I'll try not to be too disappointed about that. So, we are sort of a society. I'm not the only dragon watcher in the Wandering Isles. We do swap stories about dragons that we see, where they lair, and so forth. And I can say that I don't know exactly where this creature, this amalgam, lairs, but we've seen I've heard multiple reports, we've swapped stories, and based on the directions, we've seen it fly in and fly out. So he goes to there's a big map of the Wandering Isles hanging in the council chambers. And he... is he going to draw on it? No, he's not that brash. But I will draw on it so you can see what he's doing. He basically indicates this area, which is... and he says, we believe that across half a dozen sightings or so, the amalgam has always been flying to or from this region, somewhere west of the Indalian range, between Dragon Bay and the Wailing Depths.
Really sensible place for a nearly dragon zombie creature to be.
That's a bit, eh?
And
It's really on brand.
And Izat says this is this is when you get into searching this area by foot is going to take an age, which is when He convinces the council, can we use all of the city's resources, and the council agrees to lend the city's airship. So, shortly afterwards, the captain of the airship has been summoned to the conference to fill in on the details. And the captain will then say, well, I certainly believe the airship is up to the task of finding this thing. Not entirely sure we'll be able to fight it should we meet it in the air, but that's not the plan, I hope. And the captain is he is a dwarf named Belbrick Dremniran. And he says, so the question is, what are we going to do in terms of crew? Because we've currently got a skeleton crew aboard the ship. Not literally. None of that.
I was about to say, we've had enough of that already.
Mm-hmm. So I'm not keen on, it's good enough for flying over to where Titan's Rest used to be, but for something a bit more risky, a bit further away, I'd want to hire a few more. But if you're happy with the skeleton crew, then we can go straight away. Otherwise, I want to hire a few more hands, preferably some gunners as well, so that we can man the guns if we need to. If so, should be ready to go by midday. The alternative would be a full complement, which is ideal, but wouldn't be ready until tomorrow.
We are going to need people.
I wanted to make some phone calls anyway, so we could possibly...
What's a phone?
What's a phone?
Oh, you said stone.
Like
stones that we got.
Well, except
Right,
I'm not going to make stone calls. I'm gonna get Orsi to bump some messages out, and we'll summon everybody to the Celestial Plane 2, and have a chat.
All right.
I don't think I'll say that out loud because I don't know that the rest of the mortals present know about Celestial Plane 2 Electric Boogaloo.
They probably don't.
No,
It's very exclusive information.
That is not public knowledge.
Correct. So we have some calls we need to make, some extra crew that we might be able to source. Orsi, what do you reckon? Can we have those conversations before midday, or do we need until tomorrow?
How many do you want to make?
Vitericus remembers how many mortals were at that conference. I don't.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4.
We will need a run-up.
5, 6, 7. 7 plus Trevor and Connie.
Okay.
And this is the same day as the fight, or the same day after?
It is at dawn. You've gone back to sleep, so you've had the rest. You've had your long rest.
Had a rest.
Oh, I better press that button then, because I got kind of punched.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I can send like 11 messages. That's all I've got.
Okay. So if we did... Okay, maybe tomorrow makes sense then. We send all the messages, have those conversations, and then we head off tomorrow once you've had a rest and can do stuff again.
Okay.
Message. Is that allowed? Can you just like send one message out to like a bunch of people at once?
I'm sure there's some sort of ways to do it, but I don't have that kind of magic.
And the captain says, I thought we were trying to catch this thing before it can heal up.
How long will it take us to get there? Once we set off.
Okay. This is David doing some calculations.
I need a solid 4 hours.
Whoop. I'm selecting all the wrong tools in Foundry. There we go. Well, the destination area is about 200 miles away. He explains that the airship depending on the wind, weather, and so forth, it should be able to get there in maybe 1 to 2 days.
Okay, well, as long as we're not attacked by sky dragons or air pirates. I should be fine to get a little nap in.
Okay, well, why don't we make it lunch then? Let's leave at midday, and we'll gives you a chance to get a crew complement together. We'll make some stone calls, and
We can pack a picnic.
Aussie can power nap on the boat.
Cool.
Sounds good.
So we're going with a essential crew, which is sort of between skeleton and full complement. So it's going to be 36 crew members total.
Everyone says yes.
Okay, cool.
Horsey will spend however long he needs to spend doing that. I have 11 spaces for messages.
Okay. Let's do these messages quickly. So you're contacting everyone who is there, every mortal who is there. One thing I need to point out is that the little demi-plane that has been created for the gods, you're all welcome to go there. But in order to get there, you need the plane shift spell.
I don't know how to plane shift.
So you would either need to ask someone to take you there, or basically that's the only way.
All right, well, that's fine. We don't need to stop there. We can just send messages then, which is fine, and say, hey, we're going to do this. We're going to be over here.
Congratulations, you have been selected to ride on the Providence yacht.
Basically.
Okay. I will, rather than role-playing each and every one of these conversations, I will just give a summary.
Yep.
Rala Swift is currently occupied in something, her ship is currently at sea and she can't leave it at the moment. The Drow cleric of Tethoan will respond. She'll say, not for less than 10,000 gold.
Oh, cheap. What's the humming and ahhing for?
Are we going to pay that? I don't have that money individually.
I'm not giving some random money to do a job. That is not how I have been raised on this continent.
That's Dad. Don't know how that's going to go down though.
Oh yeah, bring your dad. He seems like he'd be really good against a dragon. He seems like he has some really good magic.
He does. I'm not bringing my dad.
Sure, we shouldn't bring your dad.
Yeah.
He seems like a really responsible adult, and I don't know, facing the giant zombie dragon, all I could think was, wow, I wish someone else was dealing with this.
I mean, we had Izzard there, and he's the most adult of all of us, so...
If the cleric of Tethoan doesn't hear back from you, they will assume that 10,000 is a bit too much.
That's fine. We'll see how the rest of them respond, and we'll get back to them if we need them.
Herden Silverfin, avatar of Nessid Clathy, responds that
He wants no bar of that.
yeah, he does. He is not a fighter, and he does not. He does not want to fight or harm anything anymore. The Dragonborn general.
Yes, this one I will make a slightly different pitch on.
Go ahead.
So rather than just, hey, going to kill a thing, come along, we're going to go, hey, going to undo an affront to dragonkind, come along.
Also, it's going to be really freaking cool. You in, buddy?
Please help.
Glory to be had.
I mean, if that really is all that you say,
No, it'll be a better pitch than that. But basically, instead of just being the generic, hey, we're going to go fight the amalgam, do you want in? It'll be pitched a little bit more on the angle of, hey, this thing is pretending to be a dragon, and is, giving you guys a bad rap.
okay.
I think Orsi says icky.
He will respond, basically saying that he is on the far side of the world, and has, first of all, no way of getting there, and does not and would not leave his god's side for it anyway.
Fine.
Orinala,
if he was up for that.
yeah, Orinala, former druid and now avatar of Val, will say, well, I guess if you really need me.
Renata said yes, but like, what do you want to do with that? Now I feel bad some reason.
Don't see why we should feel bad. Absolutely, we'll take all the help we can get. I cannot imagine that Val is happy with this thing sneaking around the countryside, eating every animal that it comes across. Tell her to chip
So
in.
yes.
He's pretty not natural, I guess.
So yes for Orinala.
Okay.
How many did we say there were again? I've already lost count.
11.
Oh, there's exactly
No,
11?
No, you had
7 more.
11. There are 7.
I have 11 messages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
How many mortals were there?
7.
7. Maths.
Listen, do I look like someone who has a degree in maths?
I can't count.
So,
This is a known issue.
The halfling Gammy, who is the halfling avatar of Havelnid, say, "Oh dear, no, I can't help you. No."
Particularly hobbity.
So that was a no.
And Perrin, excuse me, Perrin Scorchbrow, Chancellor of, well, I won't say where. That could be a spoiler.
Oh.
But the dwarf who came with Derek and Dali, will say, sounds like an above-land problem. I'll come along, though, for 50,000 gold.
Wow.
Oh, you will never believe this. Typical dwarves, not you. Above ground problem. Won't do it for any less than 50,000 gold.
That's a lot of words to say, sorry, I'm too wussy. Send that back.
Tell him it's living in a cave. So it's clearly an underground problem.
Is it living in a cave? We don't know that.
We assume
Lie, Aussie, lie.
Freaking.
I'm not good at lying.
That's true. That's very true.
Let me into your brain. Let's go. I'll send the message.
Wait, I've had you in there once. I'm getting a lot of mixed messages right now.
Dagmar's going to send off a quick prayer to Derek and Dali, just sort of commenting on his real wussy taste in personal dwarf.
There we go. See, send your own messages. Perfect.
I mean, this dude didn't find you a fucking giant Genolton throne.
Do you think he's scared because it's in the sky? We're going to be flying in the sky. Is that scary?
I think there's like 5 different reasons he's being a wuss, and that is among them, yes.
Okay.
So
we'll wait to hear back.
So did you send a second message to him?
No.
Okay.
Dagmar prayed.
No, just the prayer, yeah.
Dagmar prayed.
Okay, sorry, I missed. What was the phrasing of your prayer?
Just
wussy dwarf guy.
Dear Derek and Dali, your taste in dwarves is very, very wussy. Just thought you should know.
FYI.
Also, that throne is definitely worth more than 50,000 gold.
And
he'd probably find that hilarious. Derek and Dali, I mean.
Give me a charisma. Just a straight up charisma check, please, Dagmar.
Me?
Yep.
Charisma.
Nat 20.
Why would you say that?
Sometimes it comes true.
15.
That's good.
15. You will, in this case, hear a response from Derek and Dali, who will say, "No, you're quite right. I was thinking of asking you to be my bodyguard in the future, but you're right, I should reconsider my choices."
What a butthead.
Just dwarf things.
Just dwarf things.
So that is it. So the only one who has agreed, albeit reluctantly, is Orinala.
Is that all the mortals? Did we go through them all?
Yes.
Okay. Well, he's going to send a message to his dad.
Wow.
Dad, I don't know what to do. 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 D
I will add that there are some individuals in Providence who will come to you and suggest that they might be of help. One of them is Izard, who is uncertain whether he should come with you or not.
Oh, is he not on the boat already?
That has not been decided.
I mean, I feel like he should probably stay to guard the place, but at the same time,
that's.
I don't know if
I
don't know.
I want Izard on the ship. Bring the Spellman. We'll keep him up the back for the Aussie.
Yeah, the discussion is very much. First of all, he thinks he could be a big help to you. He's also seriously pissed off at this thing and wants it to die 100 times. But he's also one of the most powerful wizards in Providence and is the head of the Magical Defense Council. So he's a big part of the city's defenses, and so the council itself is reluctant to let him go, but they're not going to bar him from going.
I don't know.
I feel
we
like
have a
putting
vote?
all our eggs in one basket could be a mistake.
We are absolutely.
I vote
snatched
yes,
out of
and
the
then
sky.
we deal with the consequences of that potentially.
How many
disastrous
diamonds do we
later.
have left?
We still got. Oh no, we used them.
No,
all, didn't
I
we?
am all out of diamonds.
Yep.
Exactly. Yeah. Unless anyone can procure a diamond very quickly. Several.
Can we procure a diamond very quickly?
The other thing that
In Providence.
comes up during this is that Bryn Shedron, the Dragon Watcher, he's there with Izard as this conversation is happening, and he gives Izard a meaningful look that and basically says, "If you're going, I'm going." And
Was he not already going?
I also assumed he was already going.
Bathtubs with?
This felt very heavily implied. Oh,
Maybe.
Bromance is that if you're going, I'm going.
insight
Can
check.
we all do inside checks?
Insight
Yeah.
checks, please.
Everyone
Everybody.
perked up at that.
Every
This
single
is-
person.
This is who was in the bath.
Flaccid 20.
Oh, nat 20!
23.
Nat 20s. Okay,
Let's go.
Orsi, this is actually right in your wheelhouse.
Yes.
Orsi, that exchange between the two of them was basically, I could not bear it if you did not come back.
Yes. He's
Um,
going to tell everyone later.
Oh,
so you get the impression that the two of them are going to end up being a package lot. It's two of them or
I
neither
want
of them.
the package.
Okay, well, apparently Dagmar
So do
makes the
they.
decisions here, so...
Well, Zarasa's still here, right? How rebuilt are they? Do they have capacity to defend Providence if there's problems?
they
Uh,
got another ship to crash into something.
It'll take several days for Zerasa to repair their broken limbs. But they do point out that thanks to Morzod's efforts, that they do have most of the most powerful wizards of the Academy are standing again. And the city does have conventional defenses. It has cannons, it has soldiers and guns, so forth. So,
All right. So what are we worried about? Are we worried that because the amalgam's going to be hiding out wherever we're going, ideally? Are we worried about someone else coming in? Are we worried about what's her
the only
face and her
people-
handmaidens
yeah,
rocking up?
Yeah,
In which case, Izard's not going to be able to stop her.
no offense.
No offense, Izard, but
True.
God, very scary. You need a whole team for that,
It's a whole thing.
and a lot of luck, and maybe an extra god.
At least
Yeah.
one.
At least to spare. Yeah. All right. So are we loading Izard and Brinny Boy onto the?
Absolutely,
The boat?
yes.
I'll say,
Yeah, sure, why not?
if any of you are 50-50 on it, you can just roll a die.
Isn't that flipping a coin?
It seems like we're majority yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they
Strong
will
feelings.
agree to come. And
We're all gonna die. I want my last sight to be Izard in his amazing robe.
And
And
finally,
his hot boyfriend, I guess.
Titanicing on the front of that.
I almost added crew members to this named Kate and Leo. But
Oh, come on. That's dooming us.
that was the main reason why I decided not to, because
That's the spin-off campaign. Only Kate
Yeah.
survives.
so as you're gathering on the sky dock, and the ship is taking on supplies, the crew are gathering, one more local from Providence runs up, a little goblin called Master Cartographer Zoot.
Zoot! Hey, buddy!
Buddy,
How you
Coming for a
doing?
ride? Come see the
he
sky?
hates us.
And it says,
No, he hates the Terracus.
and you can see he is deliberately he is just ghosting Ptericus, and says, "It's been my first chance to see this old bloody coastline from the sky. I've only ever seen that side of the island from the sea. You don't expect me to just stay here, do you?"
No, please, welcome aboard.
Right.
Join.
All right.
Enjoy.
Zoot is coming with you.
Yay, Zoot!
Does Zoot have any other skills?
I could drop bombs or something, right?
Oh, is that presumptuous? Is that
It
a
is a little
goblin
bit. That raises the
stereotype?
I think it's a little bit of a goblin racist
A
thing.
little-
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, did you say those last few things out loud?
No, I was wondering that on the
Oh, he might
inside.
have. I don't know. He's not the most delicate.
Dagmar is definitely wondering though if he has she's thrilled that he's coming, but also she does wonder if he's going to do anything on the dragon front.
Look,
Can he defend himself?
give me let's make this insight. You're trying to ascertain this individual's fighting
15.
skill.
I got a 2.
Aussie, maybe?
Too preoccupied.
Yeah, maybe he's a secret wizard.
Well,
Dagmar, Ptericus, you're rolled for the same reason?
Sorry, yes.
Yep. He's a goblin. He's an old goblin. He's a very old goblin. You think he might actually be slow.
What kind of range do those lads have?
Not long, I think. I have to double check.
They only live 50, 60?
But he is basically an old man who is, as far as you can tell, not a wizard, which just makes him an old man.
old
Right,
means he
so he's
survived,
coming-
though. So
On a cool joyride, and when the fighting starts, we are going to pop him in a cupboard.
He pops
For
himself
safety.
in a cupboard.
exactly, he survived
If
this
he's
long.
fast
so-
enough, we'll scoot him along. We'll help him. We'll make sure he's stowed.
He has been aboard the airship before, because it's flown a few times around the eastern coast, which helped him draw up his map of eastern Keldrith. Okay, so you've got your crew, you've got your VIPs.
Does sorry, just before we sort of set sail, does Mina have any insight on the amalgam? While we've got that resource there, I'm not going to say we're going to go kill it. What can you tell us? It's more like, so it attacked again. What weaknesses does it have? How do we combat it?
Any tips?
Desmina, basically, she's going to just openly say, "Look, I don't think I should come and fight it with you, but I will fully support anything you do to protect this city." So she is 100% on board with your mission.
Does she know any points that might be particularly vulnerable?
Large glowing
Nice
red
big
spots around.
glowing eye.
An
yeah.
aversion to anything in particular?
I'm going to do a roll for Desmina. That's a natural 1.
No.
She says,
Abe.
sadly, no. She does not know any more than you've already seen in your encounter with it.
Can also send his dad a message.
Sure.
He's gonna say, "Daddy, can I borrow 10,000 gold?"
The message comes back. No, I hope you're well.
we're not well. We're going to die.
Dad said no on the
Jones,
10,000
we
gold,
are
so
going
we're out
to
on it.
Did
die.
you tell him why you needed it?
Don't think it would matter.
God. Okay.
Yeah, and then Borsy's going to send a message to Cass, but he'll do that in private. So,
Okay.
hey babe, gonna go fight a dragon again. Sorry.
I can't remember. Did you tell him last time as well?
I think one of the dragons Orsi mentioned. I don't know which one.
It was like after, I think.
Though you've definitely told him that you killed that dragon.
Yes.
Yeah. And he's
I
gonna
think
say-
they probably chat every evening. So.
Yeah. He's going to be something like, did
He may not
somebody,
have been updated on the zombie dragon.
did somebody bring the old dragon back? You have to double kill it?
It's a different dragon. I'll tell you when we get back.
Yeah, there's more than one.
So, let us move to the airship map.
Ooh.
Whee!
Might take a little while to load for some of you because there are a number of layers to this.
Ooh, okay.
So, the airship Defiant is although a Tarthian build, it is not the latest technology. This thing came across the ocean some 60 years ago when they first established Ardrathren, which became the city of Providence. So this is one of their early designs from when they were still mostly just taking the idea of a ship at sea and turning it into something that floated in the air. It's before they really started to work on making them aerodynamic rather than hydrodynamic. So you board. You are joined by the various guests, including Orinala, who is teleported to you by Val. She can't do it herself yet, but Val was able to send her to you. And once you're aboard, you will be introduced to. So you've met the captain, Belbrick. You'll be introduced. He will introduce you to the bosun, who's a elf woman named Shuval Tianyarvi, and she is a very stern, slightly aged-looking elf, not ancient, but you get the impression that you know she's been around for a few centuries at least. And the captain will basically hand you over to the bosun to show you around, and the bosun will ask, "So, you on a tour?"
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Something like, I guess.
I gotta take a nap soon, but yeah.
So you've got looking at the map, there's the main deck, you've got the quarter deck, which is a bit higher, and the poop deck at the stern. By the way,
Hang on. Let me see here.
yes.
Just gonna. I reckon my maturity is about a D4, and that is a 1. Mozart chuckles at the poop deck.
Yeah. And she will patiently explain that it comes from the undercommon word la poupe, French, which comes from the ancient imperial word pupis, Latin.
Dagmara's giggling all throughout this conversation as well.
It just means stern. It's the stern deck, but they went with the French, the French word for it for some reason. And then you've got the forecastle at the top, which is normally just abbreviated to the forecastle. And then below the poop deck, you've got the captain's cabin, at behind the quarterdeck. I'm hoping that's working. So you can see the poop deck has been removed. You can see through it to the captain's quarters. And then below that, also on the main deck and under the quarterdeck, you've got the kitchen and the furnace, and then the officer's mess at the stern. And then below the main deck, you've got the gun deck, which has 14 guns. They're all 12-pounders. You've got 6 starboard, 6 port, and 2 bow chasers at the front of the ship. And then at the stern on the gun deck, you've got the official's cabin, which is where all of the guests will be bunked.
Oh, is that us?
Yeah, that is you and those and Izard and Bryn and Zoot and Orinala. There are only the 2 private sleeping quarters in there, so the rest of you will have to use hammocks.
Or a mansion.
Or a mansion. And then below
Very
the gun deck, there is the mess deck. This is where the crew sleep and rest and eat. And it is much more cluttered than it looks on the map because I didn't want to draw everything. Except at the stern of the mess deck, you have a room that the bosun refers to as the fulcrum. It is essentially the magical room. It is the part that...
thing with the big crystal in it.
And in there, it's not a crystal. You will meet... what's their name? A human wizard named Vamik Sal, who is for all intents and purposes the ship's engineer, in that he understands the basic principles of how the airship floats. He's an enchanter, that's his specialty. Basically, the entire keel, so the thing that runs under the hull, is a single homogeneous piece of steel, which has been enchanted, not unlike an immovable rod, to basically lift the entire ship up and just carry it around. So that is the foundation of the frame of the entire ship. And the ship has 2 modes that it can move in. One is when you're hovering and you can just sort of strafe a bit left, right, forward and backwards. That's when it's very stable. But if you want to move quickly, it then becomes sort of a bit slippery, almost like a puck on an air hockey table or something like that. So you can, that's when it uses the sails to move around more quickly.
Slide, power, slide, power, slide, power, slide.
And then below all of, I haven't mapped it up, but below the mess deck, there is the bilge, which is where all of the supplies are stored in barrels. So there is the Airship Defiant, and 2 weeks' work.
It's gorgeous.
It's beautiful.
It is
Love
beautiful.
this map. I'd love a print of this.
Yeah.
Put in my office at work.
It's gorgeous. Yep.
So the time has come. The ropes are cast off. There is no anchor because the keel itself is what keeps the ship in its location. On the quarter deck, but under the poop deck, so you can't see it at the moment, that is where the wheel is, as well as a what is basically, so you've got a big wheel, which is actually 2 wheels with a, I don't know, the sort of like length of rope wound around something in the middle, so you can have up to 4 people at once handling the wheel if it gets really tough. But in front of that, you also have basically a bench, which it's got the compass, it's got the bell, but it also has the levers for controlling the magical parts of the ship. And when the time has come, when the time comes, the captain. Well, just before you launch, actually, the captain is going to say that because they didn't have time to get a full complement, they are missing a few roles. They're interested in whether any of you would think you are qualified to fill these roles. So they need a ship's
What are the roles?
They need a ship's cook.
We have one of those.
Horsey, right? Everyone eats small meals off of
anything.
massive plates.
Everyone
Yeah.
needs tiny gourmet vegetables served raw.
Yeah, gourmet. Thank you very much. Rude.
Is Morswood going to volunteer to cook?
I thought we were going to get the whole list.
Okay, good point. So ship's cook, a carpenter, and essentially a lieutenant to watch, to take orders from the captain, and these are orders essentially. These are general orders rather than orders specific to maintaining the ship, which is what the bosun takes care of.
So,
El Carpin.
so is that last one like a delegator, I suppose?
Yeah, the lieutenant is essentially assistant to the captain.
Well, yeah, cook then. Yep.
Okay.
I'll take lieutenant if Horsey doesn't want it.
Not taking orders from anybody.
That's fine.
And the captain will say, "You'll take orders from me."
Rude. What does he look like? He's a dwarf, isn't he?
He's a dwarf. I've got a token for him. Let me just drop the token in. There he is on the quarterdeck.
What a champ.
Is it just going to zoom in?
Okay.
And the bosun.
Oh, so surly.
Ooh. Bald. Beautiful beard.
Oh, yeah, I love
huff.
it. Magnificent.
Um,
He could grump excellently.
and the that's the engineer, the wizard engineer.
Oh, he's cute.
Oh, I had a question about the engineer. How Irish and put upon is he as the chief engineer of the Defiant?
I suddenly want to change his name. Yeah, I
He's
rolled
got a
a
nickname.
natural one, which I think means I have to call him O'Brien.
This is a
Or he's just nicknamed
historical-
Miles, right? Like that's the other
Smiley.
option. Yeah, Smiley is perfect.
Smiley.
We love Smiley.
Yeah. Yes, he expects to suffer on this voyage because that is his lot in life. Okay. You are ready to launch, and as the airship Defiant departs, there are crowds waving down below, many of whom know what your mission is. Word spread very quickly that the heroes of Providence and Friends are going to find, punish, and destroy the amalgam and make sure that nobody else needs to die to it. So with that wonderfully cinematic image in your mind, let's take a break.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll be back in just a moment. Don't go anywhere. And we are back. Our heroes have taken to the skies aboard the airship Defiant, and so that the ship, moving slowly at first, all of the sails are currently furled, so it's you've just got these vertical masts on either side, as well as sort of the horizontal ones going out, and the foremast, but no sails have been unfurled yet, so it just lifts off, climbing higher and higher until it reaches an altitude of about 2,000 feet, which the captain explains is the standard operating altitude. And at that point, captain orders that the sails be unfurled. The crew do their super nimble things. They're climbing out onto the masts, hovering, hanging over, a 2,000-foot drop below. And they work the sails. The sails come down. It's all rather impressive. And then once the crew are back on board, the captain pulls a lever and the ship goes into essentially propulsion mode. And there is a quick jolt as suddenly the motion of the ship is dictated by the wind, and also by a little bit of thrust being given to it by the magic itself. And the ship starts sailing. Well, it's using sails, so it is sailing over Providence and into the west.
Isn't that a Pokemon? Oh man, that's a just.
Yeah.
Has everyone got like the music and the mental image and the everything going on? It's pretty
Very
rad in my head.
cinematic.
Yeah, cinematic as fuck.
So let's sort out your births.
17th of April.
I'm an Aries.
Wait, I have this. One moment. Trials Day of Urn.
All
So there you go.
right.
Happy
750
Fancy.
PC.
Fancy in setting.
See, I try to use nautical terms and they make fun of me. So let's go down to the gun deck. And I'll just get the crew out of the way, and I will drop you all in. Because you've got to decide who's sleeping where, because there are now several guests aboard this ship and not a lot of room. These ships are... ships in general are not known for being spacious.
Well, we do have the mansion, given that Morzod considers himself fortunate to have been sleeping in the reels so that he was able to hear the alarm go up. He'd actually probably want to be on the ship.
That makes sense.
There's the officials' cabin, but the captain decides that the officers' mess on the deck above will also be made available for guests to sleep in, whether hammocks or bedrolls. So I will let the four of you decide which spaces you want.
I'm sleeping in the mansion, so
Dagmar is also sleeping in the mansion.
Okay.
It's just you and me there.
Orsi will extend the invitation to Izzard and his bow if they would like some privacy. We can arrange.
In a mansion that Orsi entirely controls and...
Yeah,
Has statues peeping in.
yeah, 100%. Bubble baths.
Let me see. I've realised I don't have a token for Zoot, so I'm just going to find a generic goblin.
Oh, soon.
Oh, let's
How about
bring in one of the... Nope, that's not right.
Yeah, I think Metericus will sleep out on, not on deck, but in the ship as well.
There we go.
It's been a while since he's slept anywhere public. It's nostalgic for him.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I mean, hammocks, right? Like, we slept in hammocks on our way over here. That was quite an experience.
It was horrible.
So long ago.
Right? Remember when I didn't have this scar and this bite mark across my... And I wasn't...
And a
didn't have
diamond
this?
in your chest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
you
remember
looked
that.
really normal back then.
I hated you.
I probably hated me too.
Yeah.
So I think Orinala after spending a few minutes below deck, she's going to decide that she hates it and is going to ask whether it's okay for her to sleep in the forecastle. And the captain will explain that on the forecastle is complicated because she might get stepped on, but under the forecastle is fine. There is.
I have a tree in my mansion. If you'd rather sleep in that or no.
Once you explain how the mansion works, she will ask.
She's been in there before, hasn't she?
Yeah, she's been in there.
That's right. Yes. Yeah. So she'll actually be okay with that.
Yeah, sure. I'll leave the door open so we can hear any nonsense that goes on outside.
So let's get a list of who is given permission to enter your mansion when it goes up.
Every guest.
Mm-hmm.
And us.
Zoot?
Yeah, of course. He can come in.
Okay.
Love Zoot.
Right. So, ship is underway. Let's move to... we will begin on the map of Keldrith East, though we will have to transition at some point because this map does not go far enough.
Is anyone sitting or sleeping in the private berths then, in the guest rooms?
Mozart?
I guess that is open if all of the actual guests are in the mansion.
Mm.
So we can have the fancy beds.
I'm still going to sleep in a hammock, but you can have a fancy
hammocks
bed.
are nice. I like hammocks.
Sorry, just confirming sleeping arrangements.
Cool. So...
Ooh, there's a token for the airship. That's
Yep.
fun.
So the airship
Whee!
has a token. So you're heading not quite due west, it's more west-southwest. So within only about 10-20 minutes, you're already sailing out over the Halewood. Great big forest stretching out below you. And at this point, it is going to be about 1 in the afternoon. So, Orsi, are you napping straight away, or are you going to wait until the sun goes down?
He might just meditate
Sure.
on a bed or something like that for a couple hours.
Now, we will actually go back to the airship for a moment. Question: What are your general stations going to be during this? When you're not, for example, Morzod, when you're not cooking, what will you be doing?
I feel like Morzod would probably be... He'd want to be where he could see stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Where just like in case something was coming in. But he'd also be quite aware that he's not like seasoned enough at boats to be out there helping the people who do know boats. So I guess he'd sort of be a bit of a floater, like going from here to there and, saying how's it going and
generally there is enough room on the top that you can wander about the main deck or the quarter deck or the poop deck without getting in anybody's way, as long as the ship is just cruising. It's not a problem.
Yeah.
The captain will make it very clear that none of the guests are to go out onto the lateral masts or the bowsprit without a lifeline.
Oh, H&S.
Yeah.
For that.
So what are the rest of you doing while you sail through the skies?
When Dags is not doing random carpentry work, she is out on the bowsprit with the safety line.
Cool.
Come a long way from Oh God, Sky Scary.
Yeah. Now it's Oh God, Sky Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Dagmar, Yeah, with your plus 14 in acrobatics, I'm not going to make you do any rolls for that. It's just going to be an automatic success every time.
Yeah, she had no acrobatics when we started this journey, and now she has all of them.
You're minimum 24 in an acrobatics roll at this point then, right?
Sure fucking am.
No matter what you roll, yeah.
A natural
Character
20 is a
development.
34.
Wow.
Oh, and there is also the foremast, the forward of the ship, which supports the jibs, the triangular sails going down to the bow. So, and there is a not quite a crow's nest, but there is a flat space on it where someone will be keeping watch from. Normally a member of the crew.
Glow.
But
Glow is definitely up there.
Glow can join them. Yep.
Yay.
And can Dagmar do a perception check to see if anyone's looking at her while she's on the bowsprit?
Sure. Go ahead.
That's an natty 20. Leonardo DiCaprio appears.
It's 23.
It's a bad omen.
23. Several crew members at first give you glances of, oh no, what is this, landlubber for all intents and purposes doing?
Smaller than average dwarf landlubber.
But after a few minutes, certainly once you nimbly step out onto the bowsprit without showing the slightest concern, fears are relieved. And actually one of the crew members will come up to you. He's a rather nondescript human, and he'll say, you seem comfortable. You do any sailing yourself?
I tried sailing once, and the ship got eaten by the Titan of Gamdanan, and this is my second attempt.
Yeah. Oh. Well, seems to be going all right so far.
So far.
Yeah.
I mean, fingers crossed we don't run into another Titan, I guess.
And again, Dannon showing up here would be a little rough.
I've heard that word.
Yeah, but Nessed Claythe's Titan is pretty
That's true. That's true.
lumen.
You say, oh, that's like a big bird, isn't it?
It sure is. I've seen it a couple of times, and it is large.
Yeah, well, I don't normally ride the airship. I'm more of a water ship guy, but Captain seems confident that skills can transfer. I'd say it's working out. Sailing plan's fairly standard, so yeah. I've got to say,
I think I prefer it up here. You can see the bottom much more easily than you can at sea.
he says, "That sure is a hell of a view."
Beautiful.
What's Orsi doing? Oh, Orsi is meditating, yes?
Yeah, he's having his elf nap.
Vatericus?
Yeah, I think I'm doing the personable thing, hanging out with the crew that are off duty, dicing with them, talking to them, maybe hanging out on deck for a while and singing some shanties to get people in a working mood, that sort of stuff.
Again, I won't make you roll for being sociable. Vatericus has become quite good at this. But yeah, you get to know several of the crew members. It is as you'd expect, an eclectic mix. Many of them are sailors. Some were part of the skeleton crew, so they've been stationed aboard this ship for several years now. But the majority of the crew were basically hired from the docks. They went down and said, hey, we need sailors who are comfortable with cannons and rigging and sails, but you're going to be on an airship, so if you're okay with heights, come join us. And for most of them, that was a good proposition, because generally sailors are good with heights, because there's a lot of climbing of masts anyway.
I When Dagmar is not being looked at and spoken to, she is going to try and give the figurehead on the bowsprit angrier eyes.
Okay. The figurehead is a stylized wedge-tailed eagle.
So it already had angry eyes?
It already had... It didn't actually have eyes per se, because it is stylized. It's like a low poly eagle, essentially.
She's going to add some detail to it.
Okay.
It's not going to be ugly.
Like the eagle from... Have you seen the one in Cowra?
Dagmar, can you make this a sleight of hand roll, please, to do this with nobody else noticing?
It should be me. I've got great sleight of hand, I've realised.
Could have asked Lucy to make you invisible.
17.
17. That's...
My sleight of hand wasn't awesome.
No,
The Cowra eagle's painted. I thought it wasn't, but it is. Weird. One of those Mandela things.
The question is, does the bosun see you? The bosun does not see you, defacing the ship's figurehead.
Defacing, improving. Just gonna give it some good detailed angry eyes in the style of the correct bird.
Yeah. And this figurehead is not the one that the Tarthians had there. This was put up when the ship was refitted to be operated by the people of Providence. So the day goes on. I'll get a perception check from Glow, please.
Sure. She has +3 to her perception checks, and she has advantage because she is an owl. Roll 2d20s. 11, 12, 13, 14.
Okay. So Glow is not the first to notice. Instead, the bosun will notice this when she should have been looking at Dagmar. She will point off to the north and say, by the gods, will you look at that? And everybody who's above deck, so basically everybody but Orsi, I assume, will see the rock, the Titan of Nessid Clathy in the far, far distance. It doesn't seem to be at all interested in you, but at this altitude, you can see quite far, basically, to the horizon. And so everyone except Orsi, you get inspiration if you don't have any yet.
I think I still have inspiration from the last.
I love that bird.
Can Glow feel inspired?
Yeah. Okay. If Glow needs to,
She feels inspired.
Glow can do one for every roll.
Oh, sweet. I don't think she needs to, but I think she just puts her wings out a little bit in vibes.
Happy bird.
It is very windy up there, so give me an acrobatics or athletics check for Glow, please.
I have to pull up the owl page. I only memorize the stuff that I use. Okay. Acrobatics or athletics?
Yeah, whichever.
They're both strength, correct?
Acrobatics
No,
is
athletics
dex.
is... Yeah, okay, dex.
Acro's dex, yeah.
Okay, we'll do acrobatics. Because she's -4 in strength.
Okay.
Oh, nearly a nat 20. She got a 9.
9. Glow, inspired by the sight of the rock of Nessid Clathy, spreads her wings and is then blown,
there she goes.
blown back, but is able to right herself and land a little angrily on the deck. But is not left behind, which is good because the airship is faster than Glow's maximum flight speed.
I'm sure she would have just poofed into the Feywilds and waited. Does Orsi get his 4 hours in?
Yes, Orsi gets 4 hours, and it is actually getting into the evening. The sun is going down. So the captain consults with the bosun and the lieutenant, which is Photaricus. But any of the others, anyone else who he is happy for the rest of you to give your input. So it is possible to essentially put the ship into autopilot overnight, and so that most of the crew can get a good night's rest, but it will move slower. Because it basically switches it back to the hover mode where it's just moving forward at, I wrote this down. Yeah, it'll be moving at essentially 6 miles per hour, whereas when the sails are out and the wind is good, which it is at the moment, it's moving at 16 miles per hour. However, the alternative is to keep it, carry on sailing in propulsion mode. But that'll mean they'll need a lot of the crew to remain on hand to continue to manage the sails and steer the ship and do all of that. So the captain is undecided about what the best course of action is.
I just woke up. What happened? Why do you look so sprightly? What did you see?
Slippers.
Yeah, he's in his robes.
The bosun is in favour of slowing the ship overnight so that the crew can all be rested.
Sounds nice.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's probably the option for tonight. For going forwards, is it possible to basically run skeleton crews on rotation?
She explains that's basically what they will be doing anyway. Because you always need to have someone awake and on watch, and ideally multiple someones, at least a runner as well as a watchman, and ideally multiple people on watch, and someone standing by at the helm, even if they're not actively steering the ship. Excuse me.
Okay, but there's no real scope to then have to split our half complement crew into alpha shift, beta shift, and then have them alternate on off for like 8-hour runs to maintain maybe not the maximum speed, but a better overall speed.
I will mute myself for a moment. You're welcome to continue discussing this.
Yeah, dying a bit over there. I was going to ask if you're okay.
Yeah,
But...
have a drink.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, have a big drink. There we go. What's up, guys?
Hey.
Hello.
Ships. Ships.
Right.
Talk.
The one time we're left to our own devices to talk about the thing, and we didn't talk about it at all.
Nothing to say. I've put you on a boat,
We
and
can't do it on demand.
No, that's right.
It's organic. It happens naturally.
I was expecting
We can only do
shenanigans.
it when you don't want us to.
Where are the shenanigans?
Don't tempt fate.
Dagmar's already graffitiing your ship.
I mean,
What more do you want from
She
her?
pulled that one off.
The term
He's
is
going to start scoping areas to put his floating tower.
Morzod's just doing the
vandalizing.
Monster Hunter muscle chef the whole time.
Yes, so let's get into Orsi. Where is the entrance to your mansion going to be?
My owlery.
Yes.
I was thinking somewhere that's like on the main deck, so that if shenanigans does occur, let me just look at. Is it possible to like wedge it into the wall?
So this is the main deck with the kitchen and the furnace and the officer's mess.
Yeah. It doesn't even have to be inside. It can be outside too.
You could be up on the quarter deck or even up on the poop deck right at the stern of the ship.
Very funny. I like that. Maybe like shoving the door in like the wood in one of these areas, if that's
okay.
solid wood.
That's where
the wheels in there.
Yeah, there's a little recess there, which is so that the whoever is steering the ship can do so outside of the rain were it raining.
How about here?
That
Is that also a recess?
That is also a recess. There are columns there, and
Good there, though.
yeah, you could put it against the wall that is separates the kitchen from the main deck.
Yeah, do that. That sounds good.
Cool.
And he's going to leave the door open.
Okay.
He will be carted on a chaise, on a palanquin, to his quarters.
And to clarify, which of the rest of you are not sleeping in the mansion?
So Morzod is not sleeping in the mansion.
And Vitericus.
Vitericus also picking a hammock for this adventure.
Okay.
I could just think of a hammock and make you a hammock in the mansion.
I know, but it's not the same. It'd be a hammock in my really excellent room that you've put a lot of thought into and all that sort of stuff.
You could sleep outside. Outside. I
Well, yeah,
even
but-
added in some seagull cries and an ocean view.
Yeah, but we're not. It's not an ocean view, is it? It's. We're up.
I can't please everyone. Everyone's a critic.
So, Vitericus, where are you putting your hammock?
If there's space somewhere in just the general crew complement, I will chuck it in there with the lads.
So down on the mess deck?
Yeah, if there's space. I mean, I guess we're not running a full complement, right? So there's got to be at least one hammock space on the mess deck.
There will be space.
So I'll set up somewhere reasonably out of the way, not blocking anyone's access to a stair or
Mess
to
deck
a
is
stairwell.
where the kitchen is, right?
No.
That's our point.
No?
The mess deck is where the crew rest and sleep and eat.
Yeah, mess eat. That's what I thought. But
Yeah.
So where's the kitchen at then?
The kitchen is up on the main deck under the quarter deck.
Oh,
Yeah, the
okay.
engine is where I guess you would perhaps,
Yeah,
right
I don't
behind the mess
understand.
deck. So.
I do not understand boats.
I mean, there wouldn't normally be an engine there on a sailing ship, right? So
Yeah.
I think the kitchen might have gone up a level.
Mhm.
Yeah, the kitchen would normally actually be typically at the fore of the ship rather than the aft, but there wasn't enough room.
I mean,
That's
fair. It is at Airship, so
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
different.
So yeah, so the kitchen's in front of the officers' mess, right? So you can get the food to the officers.
Yeah,
piping hot,
that was
and
my
then
thinking.
The big pot of soup of the day is manhandled downstairs for the crew.
That's a lot of stairs. That's down 2 decks.
Morzod, where are you sleeping?
Well, see, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, would Morzod also be down with the lads, or like if there was somewhere close to the kitchen? Like, where would the chef usually sleep?
One flight down to the mess deck, right? So it's just one set of stairs down, and then
Didn't you say that it was on the main deck?
Yeah,
Yep.
the mess deck
Oh,
is
it's
2
two.
down because it's main
Yeah.
deck.
Oh yeah, sorry, because there's the
Main-
gun.
main
Yes.
and gun
Yes,
and-
yes, sorry.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's a deck plan up here.
Yes. Yep.
And actually, I'll hide those. You don't need to see the lateral masts for now.
I mean, the officers' mess was turned over for sleeping quarters, right? So
Yeah,
if
it's-
Morzod wants to be near the kitchen, you could just set up in there.
I mean, yeah, I guess he could just hole up near there. He'd probably feel better about being not in the belly of the beast,
Mm-hmm.
so that if something happens, he can run out on deck immediately.
Cool. Yep.
So if there is somewhere for him to drop stakes near the kitchen, I think that'd probably be where he'd choose to be.
So Zoot is going to be. Zoot is claiming one of the private bunks in the officials' cabin. Orinala is at the is under the forecastle.
Oh, is she not doing a tree?
Oh yes, she is. Yes, I forgot about that. Sorry.
Tree.
Yes, in the mansion.
Cool. So And yeah, there are shifts to keep watch during the night and so forth. But are any of you going to keep watch anyway?
Glow. Will.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll hang out for a bit. I mean, I'm not much use because I don't have dark vision, but
She'll sit with Vitericus.
There are lanterns lit aboard.
yes.
So you won't be able to see much beyond the edge of the ship, but...
No, but I mean, I'll mostly be there for moral support, I think, for the guys who are actually on watch. I'd imagine on a ship like this, we'd probably have the dark vision guys rostered on for night watch, right?
Yep, that would most likely happen, yeah. Okay. The sun has set. Much of the crew has bedded down, including the captain and the bosun. Who are actually happy to let their lieutenant keep watch for a bit and make sure that things stay settled for the first watch. So I'll get perception checks from Glow and Vitericus, please.
25 from Vitericus.
And 18, 19, 20, 21 for Glow.
Okay. Glow does not see this, but Vitericus does. So, where are we? We're going up one level. Really wish... Foundry's great, but I really wish there was an interface where I could just sort of list like layers, like Photoshop layers, and just quickly click on which ones I want to be visible and so forth. That would make life even easier. Anyway, so, Vitericus, as you're just wandering around under the starry sky, you see one of the crew, look like just a regular seaman, and he is shut up. He's
Sorry.
Roll a d4, friends. You're allowed to giggle if it's a 1.
He looks around. He is on the quarterdeck, and you're some distance away when you notice. He seems to be looking around to make sure that nobody can see him, and he misses you.
Wonderful.
He's not aware that you're watching him, but with that perception followed by your passive insight, he's up to something.
Sinister background music, also a tip-off.
Cool. Well, I think I'm just going to...
Is it Sinister or is it Pink Panther?
That's what I'm trying to determine, I guess. I think I'm going to... Is he near anything critical? So is he like standing right next to the foremast or next to one of the mast points or anything like that?
No, he is... I'll position you. So you're just coming up these steps and you see him about here.
Okay, so next to the captain's cabin.
Yeah.
And the wheel. So some mission critical elements.
Yeah, I'll just drop a sailor on there.
I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to
He's got
pretend
the
that
strappy pants and a scar. He's a pirate.
I'm going to pretend that I've not noticed him and just act like I'm continuing my patrol.
Okay.
But keep an eye on him. So I'm basically going to come up the stairs and walk to probably about here without really acknowledging him.
Okay, can you give me a stealth roll, please?
Or performance, because I'm pretending?
Nope. Nope.
Performance,
You are attempting to be stealthy.
That's a shame. It's an 11.
Roguing out.
What's Glow in this situation? Does she just count as his stealth roll?
Glow doesn't know. Glow did not notice.
Oh, she's just vibing. Let's go. She's sitting on his shoulder.
Okay. All right. So Vitericus, you walk up and one of the floorboards creaks under your foot, just as the individual was starting to take something out of his trousers. something that was stuffed down there. And as soon as he hears you, he quickly
Hang on, rolling a d4.
pushes back in and let's see. Let's get a...
No, that's a 4. I'm good.
And he attempts to do a nonchalant, just a crewman going about my business thing, but only rolls a 5 on his performance. So you are not in the slightest convinced.
Wonderful. In which case, then, I will give him a hearty, well, not a hearty, because we're right next to the captain's cabin, but a quiet, what ho, friend? What you up to?
He says, "Ahoy! Just cleaning the deck."
Oh, come now. We've played dice already today. We've hung out. We've sung shanties together. You can tell your old buddy Vatericus what you're up to.
Is he carrying any cleaning supplies?
He is
What
not.
he scrubbing the deck with?
Not at all. Yeah.
Just checking the specs
With
on the end
whatever's
line
in his
for the
pants. That's what he's
rotary
scrubbing the deck with.
Yeah.
girder.
He's got a Swiffer.
He says, "Nothing. It's not a bother to you."
Isn't it, though?
Just walk away, friend.
I'd love to, but you see, if it's something that's going to negatively impact this ship while I'm on it,
Okay.
kind of don't feel like I can, friend. Just tell me what's going on.
Vatericus, can you give me an initiative roll, please? Just Vatericus.
Yes, I can. Let's go.
A tussle?
Who shot first?
10.
At 10. So
He's...
he reaches
You're about to get
back
shivved.
into his trousers and pulls out a
He's-
scroll.
Oh.
Oh, I thought he was smuggling firearms, but it's worse.
Yeah, I was gonna say, oh no.
Which he reads in a tongue that is very much arcane, and you immediately realize, oh, this is a spellcaster.
Cool. Counterspell.
Does that work on scrolls? Guess it could.
This has been brought up many times. I think the official ruling is yes. Double check.
Yeah. I'm reading. If you can see that they're casting from the scroll within 60 feet, sure. Then, and this is okay. So let me check the level of the spell. And what level are you casting Counterspell at?
I think I'm going to cast it at 4th. I'm going to bump at 1.
Okay. All right, and then I believe it's an Arcana check. If it doesn't automatically work.
Make an ability check using your spell casting ability.
Okay.
The DC equals 10 plus the spell's level.
In that case, it's a Charisma check, please.
It is indeed a charisma check. Okay. Ooh, that's not great. That's a 9. I don't think that's going to be sufficient to beat
No, it is
the
not.
spell.
He finishes casting this spell.
Do I want to use my inspiration already? I don't think I do. I think I'll just eat it.
Okay. And
Unless I die. That'll be unfortunate.
window or like a door, a portal opens,
Oh, no.
beyond which you can see
No.
darkness and fire, and a creature crawls out, a black-winged thing.
Ooh, he's summoning.
Do you have like a bardic bullshit law check as recorded in Pathfinder?
I have so much bardic bullshit. I don't specifically have anything that would give me lore knowledge.
Okay, make it Arcana then, which you're probably pretty good at.
Only +2, and it's a natural 1.
Nope.
So I assume that he's just bringing a friend on board.
Yeah, a very scary looking friend,
Yeah,
though.
in fancy dress.
Yeah. And we're going in, and we are now going into combat.
Yes.
My God.
So that was a little unexpected.
So how loud was the swoop?
Not excessively, I would imagine.
No, nobody else
I
is
feel
aware
like-
of this yet.
Glow's got to be squawking her head off by now.
So I'll put in.
Oh yeah, did you roll initiative for Glow? Because she absolutely has a chance to nope.
Good point. Please, April, please roll initiative for Glow.
God, what's her initiative bonus? Gotta get the owl page again. I don't think she has one.
And actually, I need to. It's not actually a sailor. That was just the token I dropped in. I'll drop in the actual token. Ignore the artwork. Ignore the artwork. It's just the generic
one.
D&D artwork.
I was going to say, if they looked like that when I approached them, perhaps I might have approached it. No, I'm kidding. As opposed
Had
to
it
guy
been
in
an
stripy pants.
obviously evil
Would have done a
sorcerer.
bard.
Spellcaster, yeah. Is this
Okay.
one of them death cult things? Is this what the kids are talking about?
So
A
that
little bit
was.
too helly, right? For
It's a
conjuring
bit,
bullshit.
hellish.
Yeah,
Is this what's her face with the horns?
So you're
Who
in.
knows?
maybe.
So as this thing crawls out, this guy is going to say, "A gift from Tarth," and
That's
Oh,
Vatericus, it is now your turn. And this
Cool.
creature appears and screams at you.
It screams. All right. How do I roll to
Wonderful.
hear that shit?
Well, in that case, then I'm going to go, friend, this very much looks like it's my concern. And I'm going to, behind my back, spin up my ring of thaumaturgy and call out with a voice 3 times louder than normal, "Alarm, alarm, we are boarded."
That'll do it.
And then I'm going to pull a card out of what is normally just a normal deck of cards. In fact, I'm going to pull just about all the cards out of my deck of cards, and I'm going to hit both of these guys with a spray of cards
Okay.
as a bonus action. So I'm basically just going to throw a deck of cards at them.
Oh, in the wind, that's going to be paper cut central.
One would hope.
some are gilded, so they're quite sharp.
Oh no, I'm not throwing the gilded card. That one stays right in the breast pocket for emergencies.
Fair enough.
But that is a 15-foot cone, so I'd imagine. I mean, I might have to move forwards a little bit to catch both of them, but I'll do that.
Yep, that'll work.
And I'm actually going to go for blinding cards. So they're going to have to, basically cards are going to be like plastering their face.
The cards, not the cards. They're in my eyes. Oh god.
Basically, yes.
They're in my eyes.
So wisdom saving throws for the wonderful critter with wings and the pirate.
20 from the flying thing,
That's a shame.
and 22 from what is actually a conjurer.
That's a little unfortunate because they both
This
pass,
asshole.
so no damage. But I've moved 5, so 10, 15, and I'm going to jump the railing.
Okay, it's
Run.
10 feet down.
Mhm.
Give me an acrobatics check, please. Or you can go down slowly, or you can do a check to land safely.
No, I'll keep the
Very
22
funny.
on a jump.
Okay, cool. You do land well.
Yeah.
Cool.
Big thuds.
Okay. So, here's the thing. This did not exactly play out how the conjurer planned, and there is a big problem for the conjurer now because it is the only thing that this creature can see. And it is its
Aw,
turn.
buddy.
Mhm.
So,
Yes.
So we've discovered this
Wasted
guy.
by your own demon.
Yeah, I was gonna say we've discovered this guy is bad at stealth and tactics.
Planning.
Forethought, yeah.
well, that's
I was so scared he was opening a portal to Tarth and like a bunch of Tarthian soldiers.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna punt Vatericus into another dimension.
so.
Oh yeah,
I've done that. I don't want to do that again.
I was gonna say I was thinking the banish.
Mm-hmm. Hurl through hell or whatever it was.
Mm.
Now, Ptericus, you can't actually see what... none of you can see what is happening. So I'm just going to do some rolls, sort some things out.
And then
I
describe what
assume
we
I hear
hear.
some screaming. Yeah.
Do we
Yes,
hear
please.
screams? Yeah.
He's a wizard. How good can his armor be?
Inexplicable sound of bike horns.
Oh no! What? What's that?
Someone
sound?
natty one or
It's not 20.
Who natty
just-
one?
that'll
kill him.
Damage.
Okay.
Oh, there he goes.
Oh my god.
He's probably not got much. That's over 80. Wait, that was 40. That's like basically Aussie
That
was
was
dead
over
at this
50,
point.
50. 50
Yeah.
some.
Bit over 50, yeah.
15 some change.
Finally.
But he got 62 HP. He can't have that much more.
No, sorry, that is the wrong character. Okay, if it succeeds. Right,
I
okay.
love that you killed a man by fleeing.
Yeah, so
Skills, man.
always-
Skills.
basically you just
Would
hear,
always win.
hear him go, what, no, not me, ah! That's what Vatericus hears, and I guess it's time to add everybody else to combat.
So just all we hear is, oh shit.
But at the moment, only Morzod will have heard.
Yeah, because Mozart's on deck.
Yeah.
But I suppose he'd know to. Oh, where is the captain?
Izard is in the ship. He
Yeah.
decided not to sleep in the mansion.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't want to sleep in pillowy luxury?
No, they did not.
Why?
I guess
Two men
Brittany
in
was an
one
adventurer at heart.
Two guys in one hammock.
Mm.
They were
No, they took one. They took one of the like private rooms.
they were probably also alive to Aussie, kind of.
So I'm not
What's his
rolling
vibes got rancid?
at the moment. I'm not rolling for the entire crew because of how long it would take to get everybody in. I'm just rolling. I'm just adding the people who are in a position to respond quickly.
Mhm.
And so on the next turn, oh wow, they all rolled terribly. Except
Oh,
Morzod,
man.
can you? Oh,
I rolled.
yeah, you did. Okay, so it is the Conjurer's turn next.
Pirate captain. Who's that?
That's our captain.
Oh, that is the generic token that I turned into our captain.
okay,
It hasn't changed
alright.
his name for some reason.
Right. He's ex-pirate, clearly.
Oh wow.
Pirate vibes.
He came from opportunity. It's fine.
He's reformed.
Yeah. So I missed where the mansion got set up. Is Mozart within range to stick his head in and
If
You've got to
Aussie
go
hasn't been
up the deck,
woken
right?
by
And then-
glows, awful
Oh
squawking.
yeah. Well, does that go across planes? Would you be able to feel glow from outside the mansion?
She has a telepathic link to him, so I don't see why not.
Yeah, I'm just asking if telepathy works across that.
If not, Glow can very
Dunno.
quickly fly in.
Fly in and
okay,
then
alright,
go,
cool.
hey, there's a demon on deck, or a devil, or whatever it is. Some kind of thing.
Extraplanar
So-
entity.
Mm-hmm. Can't believe that conjurer is still alive.
Me too. Party.
Mm.
Well, that's a shame, but it can do this. So 30 feet. There. Up to. I can't see that. 25 feet away. The Conjurer is going to teleport to this space.
Yep.
That's a bonus action. Nice.
Oh,
Yeah.
is he Misty stepping? Yeah.
Yep, and is it's called benign transportation. It's
About this guy benign.
it's an NPC thing,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and he is then going to cast Mage Armor. So his armor
He didn't
class.
cast that
Curious.
before he got out of bed. What the hell is this?
You know
guy?
what? Counterspell.
Okay,
Just
Rough.
third level this time.
yeah. Well, it's a first level spell, so I think it succeeds automatically.
Yeah. Oh no, you don't.
Yep. Okay.
You son of a bitch.
Take
His,
those calls.
I'm going to flick a card at him, and it'll like interrupt his hand movement right at a critical moment of the spell. It'll
he's
be like,
just-
Yeah, and then paper cut right between on the web.
Ooh, in the
okay. That is. That was his action. Still got his
Guy's having a
move.
bad day.
He's just going to run 5, 10, 15, 20, 25,
Where?
30
Yeah.
away from the thing.
He
Where
hasn't
We're just gonna
been
do
in this
circles
for a
around the
while.
ship.
So Morzod,
How does does this work? I'm on the main deck, and that thingy is on top of the quarter deck?
Yep, I'll just show the main deck. So you're in the officer's mess, is that right?
Yeah.
All right, so you might have plonked yourself on a sofa or something like that.
Yeah. Snoring
So-
cacophenously until the screeching starts.
To get out into the open deck, you'll need to just go through these doors.
And I'll emerge like where Viddy is, yeah?
Yep.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, alright, well, I'll do that.
What's your speed? You're 35 or something now, right? 40?
Yeah, 40.
Very fast.
I've got long legs.
So you've moved
You can
25
get out
feet.
to like here. Yeah.
Yeah, I might sort of come out to here and go, Viddy, what's going on?
Okay.
I can't say anything yet. It's not my turn.
All right, let's bring back the captain's cabin. Morzod, that is just your movement. You can move again, or you can do something.
I don't think I want to move again because I want to see what's up with Viddy first.
I assume I'll be pointing at the guy that I just hucked a card at as Morzod runs out, right? Like that guy.
Yep, you can do that.
Yeah, cool. Get him.
Okay. So how much more movement have I got?
I think you tapped if you want to do anything.
Yeah, I'm just like if Morzod's been instructed to get the guy, tackle is the immediate thought
Yeah,
because the guy still looks like a crewman.
that's true. So yeah, Vitericus isn't necessarily going to be like, I'm not going to be able to convey he's a conjurer, kill him, as much as I'm just going to be like, hit him.
Hey, Morzod,
Yo.
a spell I don't think you've ever used, but you've got a spell called Command.
I do. Oh, okay. Well, in that case, it would be really easy for Morzod to yell stop.
Okay.
So if that's the way that one works, which I think it is.
Yep. Yeah, that is. It's a one-word command, and he has to
Yep.
make a wisdom save.
Yep, 18 is a save that he has to make.
He does have +4, but
So
still
rolled
doesn't
well
roll
last
enough.
Hey,
So
he's gotta
he's
stop.
running along. It looks like he's about to vault over the railing, maybe go down to the lower decks, but then he just stops and stands still.
Mhm.
Okay. It is the captain's turn. And he's just heard an alarm, so 5, 10, 15, 20.
Sorry, Captain.
And
Can we not lose our captain?
and he is having been alarmed and told that there is a boarding action. Of course, he keeps his weapon by his side when he sleeps, so he comes out. He is not armored, so his armor class, I have to remember, his armor class is lower than it shows on his stat block, but he does come out with a cutlass. Immediately finds himself toe-to-toe with this creature, is going to try to hit it, and will succeed with a 23.
Woofed.
Wow.
Yes, Captain.
Out like a shot.
Good boy.
Kapow.
For 8 points of slashing damage.
Right?
And he gets another attack. 13 will not hit. No, 13 does not hit. That is the captain's turn. Izad, who is lower, he is down in the basically the VIP area. I won't bother switching the tiles because I know roughly what the layout is down there. He is. Oh, actually, no. I do need to remember where the stairs are.
It took every fiber of my being not to make a down in the poop deck joke.
Yeah, I was thinking it. And I should have rolled on it.
Yeah.
So he's going to run. Then, so it's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Up through there. He's now in the kitchen. Through there. And so he's used his movement and his action, and he is now out on the quarterdeck, but that is everything that he can do. Vetericus, it is your turn again.
Cool. I'm going to point at the stopped crewman now that we have Mullazord and Ezid here, and just say, alive if we can, dead if not. And I'm going to pop up onto the quarterdeck. So 5, 10, 15, 20.
Are you going to tell us that he's a conjurer?
No.
Okay.
I've only got 6 seconds.
Hmm.
Sorry. Wizard. Alive if we can, dead if not.
Okay. That helps, because, like,
That's fair. I don't know anything about this thing, so I am just going to hit it with some Dissonant Whispers. I think we're going to shuffle our deck, and it's going to make a bit of a susurrus that is going to drive the critter mad.
feeling it was already mad.
Well, yes, but madder. Ideally.
Oh, as you come up and get another look at it, Vetericus, you can see that some kind of unnatural darkness has spread around the creature. So a 10-foot radius area is considered dim light. Not even the light of the lanterns is penetrating this space.
Okay. Wonderful. I think I'm still going to stick with the Dissonant Whisper because I don't need line of sight for it.
Okay.
And I'm just going to whisper. And I'm going to cast that at a 2nd level. Let's bump it up a little bit. So let's go for a wisdom saving throw, please, for the critter.
Ooh. I'm thinking a 12 is not enough.
12 is not enough. So it's going to take 15 psychic damage.
Okay.
And then must immediately use its reaction, if able, to move as far as its speed allows away from me.
Okay. It'll run into this corner. Captain gets an attack of opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Hits. For another 12 points of slashing damage.
Attaboy, Captain.
Is that your turn, Vetericus?
Basically, I don't have anything else I think that is useful at the moment, so I will content myself with that unless I can draw a card as a bonus action, which I think I can. Yes, I will do that as well. Then I will draw a card from my Tarokka deck rather than my normal deck, which has some spells loaded in.
Okay. Now,
cool.
The creature is not technically frightened, is it? It just had
Correct.
to briefly run. Okay.
Yep.
So it is its turn.
Mm-hmm.
It is going to lift itself up onto its wings. 5, 10, 15, 25, 20, 25. Didn't even need to. It could have just walked there. And is going to attack the last thing that attacked it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think a 30 will hit you.
Silvery Barbs, do it again. Captain has advantage on his next attack roll.
Okay, a question of Silvery Barbs. Do they have to keep the new roll or
Lowest.
okay? So the 30 hits
Okay.
because the
That's
second
all right.
roll was a nat 20.
Yeah, don't use that one.
So you take 43 points of necrotic damage as this thing bites into you.
Womp.
And then 28 hits you.
28 will hit me.
And it's then rakes its claw across you for 38 points of force damage.
Cool.
And then,
Yeah.
can I get a charisma saving throw from you, please?
You can get a charisma saving throw from me. That is a 25 on the charisma saving throw.
That's a success. And nothing happens to you as this thing fixes its eyes on you for a moment. But nothing happens. Okay.
Vetericus is the response.
Now, I'm just going to check how command works since it is the conjurer's turn.
Yep. The other guys are aware of that. Well, there's business afoot now, right? Glow's flown in and
Yeah.
spiked Aussie awake.
Yep, the conjurer is... For this turn, the conjurer does nothing. Doesn't move, takes no action. But the command only lasts 1 round, so the effect ends at the end of his turn, but it is now Morzod's turn.
Ready. Let me just check. Have I got the range to move and shoot? I definitely do, yes.
You can just walk up and hit him, right?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Morzod runs over there and...
He's looking pretty bloodied, by the way.
Yeah, can I actually specify non-lethal? I forget if you're allowed to do that in D&D or not. You can in Pathfinder.
You are.
Rules is
but
written.
It's up to Dungeon Master.
Rules is written. You can always specify non-lethal. I'm not comfortable with the idea of saying I am going to hit somebody but not hurt him, or
I've heard him, but like I wish to belt him in the knees, not in the face.
What I'll say
I
is
did that with a peasant and he died from an arrow to the knee.
I'll say you can do that with disadvantage because you are.
Yeah. Have I got options to like trip or prone the guy instead?
You could grapple him.
You could
grab him and bear hug him.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Gigantic Morzod leap grapple. Hopefully this isn't as nasty as Pathfinder. I have seen so much grapple in Pathfinder and I wish I hadn't. How do?
It's strength, right? It's opposed athletics.
I'm just double checking.
Mm.
And you want to grab a creature. Target to grapple,
Yeah, it's sleeper hold.
You try to seize the target by making a grapple check, a strength athletics check contested by the target's strength or athletics or acrobatics. So give me an athletics check, please, Morzod.
13 total.
Oof. His acrobatics is slightly better, but he does not roll well. Yeah, you managed to wrap your arms around this wizard.
Oh boy.
Anything else in your turn, Morzod?
No, they're going to full Nelson. Let's go.
Okay. Captain is going to charge at this creature.
Advantage on the first attack from Silvery Barbs.
Okay.
Possibly, would Morzod have spotted Azad? Azad, help me out with this. And then something profane.
That is a flaccid 20, thanks to the advantage, so he does hit. For 10 points of slashing damage from the cutlass. And another cutlass strike. That's going to hit with a 22 for only 7 points. Minus 10. Thank you. Minus 7. There we go. And yep, that's his turn. Yep, so it is Izad's turn. Izad has since gotten the impression that there is something happening on the quarterdeck. So he is going to 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. All right. What does...
So he's not going to help me out?
Oh, is that what you asked him to?
Yeah, I sort of, when you guys were number crunching, I asked
Yes,
if
you did.
Morzod could have spotted Izad and been like, Izad, help me out with this twat.
Okay.
Because, I mean, I figure with Izad's help, we could get him hogtied and
All right.
help the others.
I bet Izad would probably know if he's a wizard to get his book too.
Yep, I'm just going to look at what Izad... In case he's got any magical ways of putting him to sleep or something like that. He does. He has sleep.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay. roll 5d8. That is the hit points affected, and this guy is really, really, really unhealthy at the moment. Oh, yeah. Yep, so Izard just points at him, and Morzod, you now have a sleeping conjurer in your arms.
Oh.
He's so cute when he's asleep. Look at that.
And Izard says, that'll hold for 1 minute.
Right, that's 10 whole rounds of combat to tie the guy down, so I think you'll be all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Patericus.
Yeah, rifle around in his robes.
Patericus.
Yes. Enough of this. I am going to pull the card that I pulled last turn, or I'm going to flip the card that I had last turn to reveal the Miser. And when I flip it to reveal the Miser, my head in a silvery sort of shimmer transforms into the head of Karahok the Dreaded. And I'm gonna need your little devil friend to go ahead and make a Dex saving throw,
Oh my god.
please.
Oh, what a terrible roll. 10.
Cool. In which case, then he takes 4d12 fire damage.
Are you setting the ship on fire?
No,
just
because
that
it's
guy.
magic
Please be
fire.
careful.
It is 18 fire damage. It's not as much.
Does
as
it
I would
ignite
like, but
things around it? It
It
better
does
not.
not ignite things around it. It
Yeah.
is. It
Okay.
is just fire damage.
It's like imaginary fire.
Basically, yeah. It's purely imaginary fire. And then because I'm real sick of this thing and I don't have an awful lot of health left, as a bonus action, I'm going to pull a card out of my non-Taraka deck and tap it to the diamond in my chest, and Ralphim's Psychic Lance is going to pop out of it.
Jesus.
Amazing.
So go ahead and make a
Sailor Moon in that shit.
There's
an
no kill like
intelligence saving
overkill.
throw, please.
13, I assume, is not enough.
13 is insufficient, so go ahead and take, there's a lot of 5s and 6s in there, 31 psychic damage. And it's incapacitated until my next turn.
Oh, wow. Okay. It's starting to look bloodied.
Perfect.
And so
What we want.
incapacitated basically means it can do nothing on its turn.
Correct. So I live another turn.
And meanwhile, the wizard is also incapacitated because he is asleep.
Mhm.
Morzod, it is your turn.
Morzod ties this
Are the other
guy up
guys
in
in
his
initiative yet?
sleeves.
I'm thinking we'll be finishing this soon.
Yeah, fair.
It'd be complicated to bring lots of people in. So
So they're all having a comedy, try to climb up the stairs all at once and getting stuck.
There's only that one bridge that
Five-
goes
yeah,
down to the
five-
door,
five
and it's
abreast.
like this wide.
Yeah.
Orsi's palanquin is just blocking the route for everyone else.
actually, you know what? I will add
It's got to be walked.
because the entrance is close enough. I will add Dagmar and Orsi to combat.
Oh, what up?
Orsi's refreshed and good to go, apparently.
Yeah, and I've rolled initiative for you. So Orsi, you can actually take your turn now.
Nice work.
So,
Yeah.
so he steps out
Magma
and he
is
sees.
still asleep.
So he sees Morzod bear hugging a sleeping guy.
Just a guy.
Yep.
He just looks like
just
a crew
guy.
member.
Just
Yeah.
some guy.
Just some dude.
I don't even know what Orsi would do.
Sounds of combat upstairs.
Yeah, truly.
on
All
the
right,
floor
let's see.
deck, I guess. Although not at the moment, because the thing's incapacitated, so
15, 20. Orsi is going to be like, what the actual fuck? Go up the stairs a little bit.
Arcana check to identify this thing, please.
Let's do it.
probably not a huge check to identify that Patericus is bleeding quite heavily.
16.
16. You
Might be a
don't.
check to think it's out of the ordinary.
That is enough for you to determine that this is some kind of demon.
A demon?
Yes.
Demons!
We're getting abyssal. Okay. Alrighty. In that case, Orsi will cast Tasha's Mind Whip.
Ooh.
when he
Whip it.
sees it.
Whip it good.
I guess it automatically fails because it's incapacitated?
Okay.
I
Question.
don't know.
Doug, in the wording of your spell, how long is it
Yes.
incapacitated for?
Yes, sorry, let me check. Target makes on a failed save, target takes damage and is incapacitated until the start of my next turn.
So it is still incapacitated. Okay.
Correct. Yep.
Oh.
Rip.
So it fails automatically, I suppose?
It'll fail automatically, yeah. Unless it's
Yeah,
a...
alright.
Oh. No, mental incapacitated can't even make mental saves. So, yeah.
Yes, it is
Alright.
dazzled by the refractions from my chest diamond.
In that case, it takes 3d6 psychic damage, which is 8.
Ew.
And then, on its next turn, it must choose whether it gets to move, an action, or a bonus action, and it only gets one of the 3.
Good grief. This poor demon.
And it also can't take any reactions until the end of its next turn.
Yeah, the demon's thinking, I get out of bed for this.
I assume the gate is closed now, right?
Void.
Yes.
'cause it was
There's not like an
spell,
open
right?
warp gate.
Yeah, the portal opened, this thing stepped through, and it closed behind it.
Cool. Just double checking.
Good. Yeah, we
yeah,
don't
we
want
have
more
friends.
friends. Yeah.
So, Morzod, you're holding this guy. You've just seen Orsi step out of the mansion and start run up into the deck and do some magic.
Yeah, look, Morzon wants to tie this guy up securely in his own fucking sleeves.
Cool.
And
Get his book.
yeah, actually,
I don't even know if he's a wizard.
well, no, because Vidi did say wizard, so Morzod would actually probably just gag him.
Okay.
Works.
Kick his book across the deck like a handgun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
As you, Morzod, as you search him, you find a. You don't find a spell book. You do find what looks like. What you imagine is a focus.
Something that looks
a wizard
suspicious and
uses.
probably has eyeballs on it. Yeah. Well,
Okay.
in that case, Morzod would relieve him of that. And like, is that like my move or my action? Suppose you count that as my action.
If you're gagging him and removing his focus, that'll be your turn, I think.
Okay. All right. Cool. Yeah.
Cool. That is a valuable thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
The captain will continue wailing on this thing.
Good
Varsha
choice,
blows.
standing still.
Oh, yeah, with advantage. Oh, what? That is
Did you miss?
2 natural ones.
Oof.
Oh, buddy.
But that's only the
It's a bit
first.
dark.
That's only the first
He got
attack.
distracted by all the bullshit.
Followed by a 3 and a 4. With advantage.
Captain. You did so
Wow.
well before.
Did he get inspiration from seeing the rock?
Um,
And does he want to use it now, though?
he is
Up to
pissed
him.
off. So, yeah, he's going to use his inspiration for a 16.
Hey!
Let's go.
Does a 16 hit this thing? No, it doesn't.
Oh,
Ah,
well, still, that's a better try.
hey, tried.
Mhm.
Izud. Okay. I feel like chain lightning might be overkill since there's only one of it.
There's no kill like overkill.
Yeah.
Please don't
I
chain
was
lightning
also
into me.
considering a
How chain
a
is
lightning bolt.
this lightning?
Mind you,
He's not a spell sculptor, though. I don't know. Is he?
3 bolts
Is he?
then
He
leap
might
from
be.
that target to as many as 3 other targets, each of which that a target can be a creature.
In that case, he's probably aware that the collateral would probably be a problem.
I'm just checking.
Would
The wording doesn't seem to say that he can choose, but
But up
Does he
to,
have
I
spell
guess, lets
shaping?
you go.
Only evocation can spell shape. I don't know what he is.
yeah. So he's not going to do that just to be safe.
Good man.
Instead, it's just to be no. He's going to have to need to
You walk up and kick him.
Going to need to position himself for a lightning bolt that will only strike the thing. And it's automatically going to save its dexterity saving throw, so that's 8d6 damage.
By save, he means fail.
Mm-hmm.
That is what I meant, thank you.
Yeah, that's cool. We understood.
Which is a shame, because this thing actually gets advantage on saves versus magical effects. So it is now looking pretty rough as this lightning, as Zizard gives it a good crack. For Terracus, it is your turn.
It is my turn. I am going to walk away from it because it can't react to me.
Correct.
I say walk. What I mean is stumble while trailing blood away from it because those first 2 hits were not great. Not going to lie. As tempting as it is to hit it again with the Psychic Lance and have it auto-fail and then be incapacitated for another turn, I think what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to antagonize it.
Yeah, that's Vinny.
Yeah, basically, right? So as I limp away from it, there will be some cutting remarks about couldn't even kill a bard.
Okay.
So it needs to make a wisdom saving throw, which it auto fails. It then takes 4d4 psychic damage, which is 10 psychic damage.
Question.
Yes.
Does it need to be able to hear you?
Ooh. No, by the looks of it.
Ugh. Okay.
Oh, I need a card with a rogue on it, though. But I assume I have a card with a rogue on it somewhere about my person at all times. Oh, no, I'm going to use the... I was going to say, I'm just going to use my Tarocca deck, which gives me an extra d6 of damage that I've been forgetting to add this whole time. So go ahead and take 16 psychic damage from Antagonize. On a failed save, it takes 4d4 psychic damage and must immediately use its reaction if available to make a melee attack against another creature of my choice, which it can't because it doesn't have it available. Instead, it gets disadvantage on the next attack roll it makes before the start of my next turn.
Okay.
So I'm keeping the captain a little bit alive, hopefully.
Anything else on your turn?
I'm going to draw another card from my Tarocca deck and see what it tells me. And that's it.
Okay. So the creature is going to... Let's see.
So has to pick one between action, bonus, action, move.
Yep, because of Aussie's thing.
Because of Aussie's thing.
Yep.
And has disadvantage on its attack roll because of my thing.
It is going to choose to move away. It is actually just going to try and fly, but Captain gets an attack of opportunity.
This thing is really regretting climbing out of the abyss today, I reckon.
Just misses by 1.
Oh.
And so the creature is going to fly over the edge and dive down. And actually, Vitericus, because of where you are, you will see it is flying down and away. It is done with this fight.
Fuck this, I'm out.
That seems fair. How far away does it get?
It's using its full... no, it's just using its standard movement. So, but its fly is 60 feet.
Okay. Well, my turn. I'll hit it again then on the way out. See if I can kill it.
Okay, so we shall move it.
Dagmar, you can kill that thing.
Yeah.
We shall move it.
Moving target from a moving boat. Ultimate trick shot.
60 feet away. Dagmar.
No one knows your work.
Dagmar, what are you going to do?
Dagmar has come out, half asleep, to a lot of sounds. She's going to jump up over the thing in the direction of the sounds, bounce up over here, following said sounds, and sort of putting together the gist of Vitericus staring angrily into the night after a sound, shrug, pull her bow and see if she can shoot the sound.
You've got dark vision and you can see it because it's within 60 feet. So, yep, that's okay.
Let's go.
She will not say anything yet because she is still pretty asleep. Alrighty. Bow of memory. Let's roll to attack.
Did anyone think to ask Dags where the dragon was? Because she shot it with the grudge bow.
That's a
I
hit.
did shoot it with a grudge bow. 22. I don't think I have advantage on it currently. Does it give me advantage on her body? No.
No.
You did
no.
kind of
Only
spring
at
out of nowhere, but
Yeah. We'll just do a normal roll.
If you did a bonus action hide first and then shot it, would that count as getting a sneak attack?
It
I
would.
did do that.
I
But,
should do
yeah.
that.
You know what? Sure. I mean,
11.
it's not as though the thing expects you to shoot it. I think that's effectively roll ahead.
Oh, you giving,
roll
are you
sneak
giving
attack.
me sneakies?
It's a sneak attack damage.
Alright.
This thing doesn't even know
It's
you.
gonna look so cool.
It doesn't even know you exist.
yeah,
26 plus 11.
suddenly dwarf out of
37
nowhere.
damage, straight out of a sleepy bow.
That is enough.
Yeah, moving
So this
target,
thing
moving
flies
ship
off,
at
and then
night.
an arrow hits it right in the back of the skull, and its lifeless, limp body starts just falling.
Plop.
Some,
Poor farmer.
yeah, depending on where you are now, you're probably not over civilization at this point, just out
But
in the
it'd be
wild.
funny if we were, though.
Yeah, but yeah, some sort of
Jeepers Creepers style. Just
some surveyor is just going to have this thing land at their feet. And
Oh, yeah. What time is it?
Night.
night sometime. Yeah.
yeah.
First
So
watch those, they're not too late.
with that, with the Nabosu defeated, and its summoner restrained,
Was that its species or its name tag?
that is the type of demon that it was, a
Okay.
Nabosu.
Right.
With that, we are going to finish tonight's session. We can come back. I assume next week you want to begin by interrogating this poor fool.
Oh,
No, I'll
yeah.
just chuck him overboard. One or the other.
We can punt him. Fine.
Okay. Thank you, everyone, for watching. We will be back in a week's time. Bye.
Hey.